manage stress as an entrepreneur? Now, today we're going to be talking about real stress. Something that cannot be healed with healthy diet, meditating, exercising, eating healthier food, getting enough sleep, talking to your closest family members, friends, closest circle, whatever, because let us be honest, if you had a chance to do all of that, you probably wouldn't have been stressed in the first place. Don't read news, don't read news. Don't dwell upon things that absorb your attention all day long. Set certain hours for that. Now, it's okay to think about things that are part of your life currently, sadly. Just make sure they don't control every bit of you. Try to set certain limits and mental walls, if that makes sense, because dwelling upon them, perhaps probably even enjoying this pain from throwing the salt over your open wounds of sorrow, yeah, I know how that feels, may drain you to the core and even make you sick. It was the case with me. I literally got sick several times after a certain media and news overdose, and no, I'm not talking about Instagram. If you're new to the channel, my name is Olga, and typically we talk all sorts of IT businesses here, online businesses, how to build your outsourcing or outstaffing company, and all of this quite unique stuff. So if you're interested in those, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe right after it, because you may want to check out the playlist section of this channel, because that's where the gold is. Okay, I'm in Ukraine right now, meaning that I know what a war is. And since I run an IT team, I know a thing or two about how to manage your team during stress times, how to manage stress as an entrepreneur, working under stress, how to manage your business during war times, you name it. And of course, we're all on our smartphones to not miss something important, but yes, it's tempting and sometimes vitally important to check our phones to not miss any important information and to not miss the moment when you're getting bombed. But if you're relatively safe, it's important to switch off for a while, to not lose your sanity. You literally cannot allow that to happen. Neither sickness nor mental instability will help you in your situation. So try to eliminate the social media and the news as much as possible. Those things only cause us more trouble, not less. Now let's talk about the next way you can manage your stress as an entrepreneur, and that is one of the advice that I keep hearing from different psychologists, and that is connect with other people with similar issues and talk to them. And yes, in some cases it might work, like when I've been in distress about my kids and the issues with them, this method sort of helped. I was at a loss, which was the primary reason of me being distracted at work, and what really broke the ice for me was talking to parents who had kids with similar issues. I just dwelled upon their pain, upon their struggles, and then I sort of let it go. If you're frozen with fear, anger, helplessness, grief, or whatever, but there is a certain solution to your problem, seeking for advice and just chatting with someone who understands your pain might help. But what I want to give you today is a sort of controversial advice, and that is, don't talk to anyone if that can make things worse. Let me give you an example. We are at war now, and speaking your mind freely can mean a number of things, and not all of them are favorable. People might understand you in all sorts of wrong ways, even if you share the very same thoughts and ideas, but you express in a different way. And this is where things might get even messier. Some misunderstandings during war times may lead to serious consequences. There are certain situations when people just are not in the mood, or it's just the wrong time to explain your actions, or to explain your thoughts, or to express your anxiety, or to express your pain. It's just the wrong time. If you feel that that is the wrong time, better don't say anything. When you have mentally gone through all of your issues, and maybe mentally you have put up with something, only then you may try to unfold again. And that is where the next advice comes from, and that is, if you want to manage your stress as an entrepreneur, consider doing nothing. Actually, this is one of the ways how project management is being done. And I have gone through a course on project management where they addressed stressful situations and how you can manage your team during stress times, and overall how to manage your stress and how to work under stress. And there was one particular advice I remembered because it surprised me a lot. That was in a hard situation when you have to solve the issues within the team as a project manager, as a leader, consider doing nothing. Sometimes things tend to fix themselves with time. Of course, it doesn't apply to every single situation, of course not. But sometimes, especially when it comes to, say, personal relationships, only step in when you feel like it's time for you to do so. The next way how you can manage your stress as an entrepreneur is find the reason, and if it's within your power, eliminate it. Sometimes people just get stuck because they don't realize that the cause of their stress is actually manageable and it can be solved. For example, an extremely common situation. There is some daunting task that keeps haunting you at night, and something that you actually cannot get done for some reason or another. Either you don't know how to do it, or you lack some resources, or you just suffer from procrastination, or whatever. You just can't get it done. Of course, this affects all the rest of your workflow. This is an easy scenario, but still it's one of the most common reasons why you experience stress as an entrepreneur. The next thing you might want to do is to concentrate on simpler things if you're getting panicky. And that is again a common situation, especially if you're working under huge stress, and especially if you experience something you cannot influence, you cannot change, you cannot do anything about, but you can do everything that is within your sphere of control. Focus on simple things. If this is, say, watering your flowers this day and nothing else, that's good. The next day, you'll water your flowers and do your dishes. The next day, you open your laptop and answer some business emails. Step by step, day by day, and this is where the next way how you can manage your business under stress comes from, and that is remember your teammates, your business partners, and other people who depend on you and who might not care if you live or die. They just expect you to fulfill your part of the game. They need you to fulfill your obligations. Now, don't get me wrong, of course we all need compassion, but sometimes it's not something you need. Sometimes it's indifference that will stimulate you to get back to your senses. Because compassion might make you even more emotional and make you even more miserable and even more panicky, and you won't be able to work at all, and you won't be able to even water your flowers. Talking to a person who doesn't really care about you actually can bring you to your senses, because it will remind you of your responsibilities. I've experienced it with myself during these 2.5 months of war, when clients did contact me and they were like, "Oh, you're at war, oh, my condolences, but when will be the project finished?" This is also important not only for saving your sanity, say, but also for saving other people's businesses, savings, money, lives. And if you don't know how to manage your stress as an entrepreneur, remember this one thing. You've got team members who rely on you for their salaries, for their workflow, for their businesses. If those are, say, your partners, you have clients who rely on you for the results you're delivering, and so on. And if you are not in an immediate danger, just make sure you fulfill and focus on your obligations and responsibilities. This might save your life because it saves your sanity. You know, there is a great saying, do or die, which belongs, I presume, to US elite soldiers. But there is an even sharper and stronger one, which says die but do, meaning that not even death can be an excuse for not fulfilling your obligations. You can only do what you can do, something that is within your power and within your area of control, and leave all the rest to God. And we've come to the next thing, how you can manage your stress as an entrepreneur because you have a business to run, and that is don't think about the future. Yes, we are all for planning and organizing and thinking ahead and making plans and all of that, but when you're working under stress, especially if you're a person who has responsibilities and the mental burden of all this may drive you mad, my advice is don't think too far. Think only for one day ahead. If you survived this one day, you're good. Then you survive the next one, and then the next one, and maybe at some point you'll be able to operate fully again. If not, hey, at least you survived. I hope this rather radical advice on how to manage your stress as an entrepreneur helped you in your particular situation. Just remember that you have people relying on you for their salaries, for their lives, and this simple thought really saves lives. There is a saying, find someone who is even worse and help them. If you like this episode, you know what to do with that like button, and see you on my next episode on the channel. So stay tuned, but above all, stay safe.